Hey nerds, it's November 24th, the 48th week of 2024, and I'm running down what's coming up this week, starting now. Welcome back to the Nerd Social. I'm Nathan. As always, if you want to jump ahead of the intro to see what's coming up on any day of this week, there are chapter links below. So depending on what you're most interested in, typically studios and production companies release DVD/Blu-ray or VOD movies on Tuesdays, streaming movies on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and theatrical movies on Fridays. Though this is Thanksgiving week, it's not a normal week, so you'll see some variations. Let's get started. Today, Sunday, we have the season finale of From Revelation Chapter 2. This is episode 10. Boyd is pushed to his limit as his time begins to run out for someone he loves. Randall is haunted by his trauma, and Victor reveals a hard truth. Tabitha's unlikely journey takes a shocking turn. We have a new episode of Krapopolis. I was mistaken before. They took a week hiatus. They're actually back tonight. It is episode 7 of season 2, Ties Man, Woman, Table, Chairs, Food. Tyrannus and Hippocampus start a restaurant to get Krapopolis on the newly invented map, which Stupendous follows to face her longtime foe. A new episode of The Simpsons, Treehouse of Horror presents Simpsons Wicked This Way Comes. This is episode 7 of season 36. A tattooed man at a mysterious night circus transports Lisa into 3 strange stories from the innocent 1950s, the chilling retro present, and a brutalist future where prestige TV rules the world. New episode of the franchise tonight as well. This is episode 8. Scene 117, The Death of I. After Anita uncovers some troubling news about Tecto, Dan works on a plan, while Dag tries to dodge the Armenian authorities. Later, an on-set incident overshadows Peter's final day of shooting. New episode of The Equalizer. This is episode 5 of season 5. Take My Life, Please. The team investigates who is trying to put a hit on a stand-up comedian. Also, McCall grapples with her feelings for Dante, who is still in town deciding how to proceed with Big Ben. And Delia continues her college search. New episode of Special Ops Lioness. This is episode 6 of season 2, 2831. Events come to a head at the Carrillo estate faster than expected. Josie makes her move. New episode of Somebody Somewhere. This is episode 5 of season 3. Sorry, there isn't a description for this episode yet. New episode of Dune Prophecy, Two Wolves. So episode 2. After receiving word about events at Seleucus Secundus, Valia brings Theodosia to the Imperial House to help manage the situation. Meanwhile, Desmond makes a confession to Emperor Carino. Tula reluctantly enlists Leela for a vital mission, and distrust swirls around Tyrion Atreides, the sword master for House Carino. Colin has been reviewing this show. There's actually a link above to the playlist. New episode of Landman. This is episode 3 of Hell Has a Front Yard. Cooper makes an impression at the oil patch. Things get complicated for Tommy when his ex-wife Angela comes to town. On Monday, we have a new episode of Brilliant Minds. This is episode 9, entitled Chapter 9, The Colorblind Painter. When an artist refuses to paint for his upcoming show, Dr. Wolf and his team must figure out why. Dr. Pierce goes into uncharted territory with a patient. New episode of Superman and Lois. This is episode 9 of season 4, Live and Die Again. Sorry, there's no description for this episode yet. New episode of What We Do in the Shadows, episode 8 of season 6, Guy Undercover in New York. Colin and I have a couples night with an old friend, while Nandor and Laszlo battle the film crew that have invaded their neighborhood. We have a Family Guy special called Gift of the White Guy special. There's little Christmas cheer in the Griffin household this year, with Peters having gifted away Lois's much love Christmas brooch in a white elephant exchange. To add to that Christmas chaos, Stewie's world is turned upside down when he discovers that he's on Santy's naughty list. At the premiere of a new show on HBO, Get Millie Black, ex-Scotland Yard detective returns to Kingston to work in missing persons and finds herself on a quest to solve a case that will blow her world apart. Trailer looked actually pretty good. Let's see if I can get some screeners for this. On VOD on Monday, we also have All You Need Is Blood, VOD sale. An aspiring teen filmmaker cast the perfect lead for his breakout zombie film, his Undead Dad. On Tuesday, as I mentioned before, High Potential is on hiatus until January. The Irrational has a new episode. The Wrong Side of Maybe is episode 6 of season 2. Sorry, there's no description of this episode yet. Have a new episode of Saint Denis, episode 4, Salamat U2. Alex finds himself in a bit of a pickle after unintentionally provoking the emergency department's notorious mean girls. The tension builds as Alex tries to navigate the tricky dynamics of the workplace while maintaining his professionalism. New episode of Night Court, The Judge's Boyfriend's Dad, Part 2. This is episode 2 of season 3. In this hilarious follow-up, Abby is doing her best to help Jake and Dan bond, but her efforts take an unexpected turn, leaving her feeling like the third wheel in their awkward relationship. Have a premiere of a complete series on Hulu, Vow of Silence, The Assassination of Annie Mae. The series explores the life and murder of Annie Mae Aquash, who fought for indigenous rights in the 1970s, with her murder going unsolved for 30 years. Additionally, exploring politics in a present-day investigation by her daughter. Have another film going to VOD for sale, Video to Ben, Letters at Christmas. Discovering a collection of letters written decades prior, two kids are inspired to bring their parents back together as they near separation by sending love letters to try to reignite their marriage in this heartwarming holiday movie. So the Terrifier 3 is coming to VOD on Tuesday as well. It'll be on Blu-ray on December 17th. Art the Clown is set to unleash chaos on the unexpected residents of Mills County as they peacefully drift off to sleep on Christmas Eve. On Wednesday, the next episode of Abbott Elementary is actually December 4th. I will report on that next week. We have a new episode of Shrinking Last Drink. This is episode 8 of season 2. Jimmy faces Alice's secret. Liz and Derek are at a crossroads. Paul worries about his health. New episode of Bad Sisters, Person of Interest. This is season 2, episode 4. Convinced that a blackmailer is to blame for their tragedy, the sisters look for evidence. Becca is shaken by life-changing news. Premiere of Chef Table on Netflix, the complete 7th season. Chef Table goes inside the lives and kitchens of 6 of the world's most renowned international chefs. Each episode focuses on a single chef and their unique look at their lives, talents, and passions from their piece of culinary heaven. Specials, because this is Thanksgiving week, we have Countdown to Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on NBC. It's 1 hour special, a special that airs on NBC that provide a behind-the-scenes look at the preparation and excitement that goes into the parade. The other special we have is on ABC, The Untold Story of Mary Poppins. It's a 2 hour special on ABC. A special edition of 2020 includes rare footage from the premiere event for Mary Poppins, featuring the film's iconic stars Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke, plus Walt Disney himself, in seldom heard demos of classic Sherman Brothers songs that have enthralled generations of music lovers and Disney fans. This special also features new interviews with Dick Van Dyke, Josh Gad, John Stamos, and Lin-Manuel Miranda, conversations with 2 of Walt Disney's grandchildren, and special interview with Julie Andrews, and more. On Paramount Plus, we have a movie, Dear Santa, with Jack Black. When a young boy mails his Christmas wish list to Santa with one crucial spelling error, a devilish Jack Black arrives to wreak havoc on the holidays. New movie coming to Max called Sweethearts. 2 college freshmen pull a turkey dump and break up with their high school sweethearts over Drunksgiving, the one chaotic night before Thanksgiving in their hometown that puts their codependent friendship to the test. I have a new movie on Netflix titled Our Little Secret. 2 resentful exes must awkwardly spend Christmas together after learning their new partners are siblings. In theaters, we have in wide release Moana 2. After receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors, Moana must journey to the far seas of Oceania and into dangerous, long-lost waters for for an adventure unlike anything she's ever faced. I am going to go to a press screening tomorrow to watch this with my kids, and Colin is also going to see it tomorrow evening, so we'll probably have a review up on Tuesday. In more limited release, we have Ernest Cole, Lost and Found, follows Ernest Cole's journey as the first Black freelance photographer in apartheid South Africa. Also in theaters in limited release, Queer, Lee, who recounts his life in Mexico City among American expatriate college students and bar owners surviving on part-time jobs and GI Bill benefits. He is driven to pursue a young man named Alarchon, who is based on Albert Lewis Marker. This stars Daniel Craig and it's another Luca Guadagnino movie. Try to get a press screening for that. I don't know if I'll get it before it comes out on Wednesday though. Maria, this is a Netflix film that will come to Netflix on December 11th, but it will be released on theaters on Wednesday. Maria Callas, the world's greatest opera singer, lives the last days of her life in 1970s Paris as she confronts her identity in life. The Seed of the Sacred Fig. Investigating Judge Aban grapples with paranoia amid political unrest in Tehran. When his gun vanishes, he suspects his wife and daughters, imposing draconian measures that strain family ties and societal rules crumble. Finally, on Wednesday, we have the movie September 5th in theaters. During the 1972 Munich Olympics, an American sports broadcasting crew finds itself thrust into covering the hostage crisis involving Israeli athletes. The next episode of Found is going to be in January. As I've said before, Georgia Manny's First Marriage, Ghosts, and Matlock are on hiatus until December 5th. We have a new episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. This is episode 7 of season 5. It is titled Fully Dilated. Sorry, there is no description for this episode yet. We are still behind on reviewing the show. Hopefully during this holiday week, we can catch up on this and also some of the movie reviews that we are behind on. Have a new episode of The Day of the Jackal. This is episode 8. Following the chaos in Tallinn, the Jackal goes into hiding. Bianca digs into the past of the mysterious Dugan, investigating his time in Afghanistan in the hope of a new lead. Still haven't caught this show, but I heard it got renewed, so I guess I'll have to check it out. The Sex Lives of College Girls. This is episode 2 of season 3. Sorry, there's no description for this episode. Also, I reached out to HBO and they won't give me screeners, so I can't really review this. We have the complete season of Is It Cake Holiday on Netflix. Cake artists from past seasons return to craft tasty replicas of ice skates, nutcrackers, and more in holiday spin on the mind-bending baking contests. On Max, we have the premiere of a new show called Second Chance Stage. The 2 episodes will premiere, a talent competition that offers contestants who have pushed their dreams aside a second chance at their big break. On Netflix, we have the premiere of a new show called The Madness, starring Coleman Domingo. Media pundit Muncie Daniels must fight for his innocence in his life after he stumbles upon a murder deep in the Poconos. This only just recently got on my radar, but if I can get screeners for it, I'll try to watch them and set a review by Wednesday. And finally, on Thursday, of course, because it is Thanksgiving, we have the 98th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on NBC. With a long-standing tradition of delighting viewers, the parade promises a spectacular display of colorful balloons, stunning floats, and lively marching bands. This starts at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 Central. On Friday, we have the season finale of The Great British Baking Show. This is Collection 12 on Netflix, Series 15 if you're in the UK. Although if you're in the UK, it's the Great British Bake Off. Anyway, the finalists go all out with signature scones, afternoon tea, and tiered celebration cakes. Whose chance of winning has come and gone, and who will be shedding tears of joy? Literary puns are difficult when you're speaking them. Anyway, new episode of Before. This is episode 7, The Power of Belief. Sorry, there's no description for this episode yet. We have a new episode of Silo. This is episode 3 of season 2. Sorry, there's no description for this episode yet either. New episode of Creep Tapes. This is episode 4, titled Brad. Brad is hired to film a pitch for a new docuseries. Series on Amazon. The complete first season premieres on Friday. It's called Hard North. extraordinary Canadians, 4 extreme locations, 1 goal. North is coming to Prime Video on November 29th. On Paramount Plus, we have a new series premiere. 2 episodes will be dropping. The series is called The Agency. Based on the series, The Bureau follows a world of even deeper intrigue and subterfuge, with characters fighting their own battles as they grapple with existential threats to the nation and the world. Looks like Michael Fassbender, Richard Gere, Jeffrey Wright, and Jodie Turner-Smith are all in this, so I'm looking forward to this one. I will try to get screeners for this. On Shudder, we have Out Come the Wolves. At a cabin deep in the wilderness, a weekend of hunting turns to mayhem and a fight for survival when a pack of wolves attack a man, his female best friend, and her fiance. On Disney Plus, we have Beatles 64 captures the band's electrifying 1964 US debut amid fan frenzy with rare behind-the-scenes footage. It chronicles their unprecedented rise to global stardom after performing on The Ed Sullivan Show to over 73 million viewers. On Hulu, we have a movie called The Nutcrackers. In the most unlikely of places, 4 siblings find a loving shelter in an unexpected turn of circumstances. This endearing comedy drama draws inspiration from actual events and deftly crafts a gripping story that unites everyone. Finally, in theaters, on Friday, we have Armand. Armand, a 6-year-old boy, is accused of crossing boundaries against his best friend at elementary school. Finally, on Saturday, we have a new episode of Invincible Riot Girl. This is episode 6, Behind the Wall, the Finger and the Toe. In search of an old tag team who may hold the secret to the perfect strike, Andy and her friends find themselves caught in the middle of a town torn apart by differing philosophies and personal grudges. I actually have screeners for this last week, so I will try to catch up and cover this if I can. That is it for this week. If you want us to cover any of the productions we aren't covering already, comment below, and if we get enough requests, we'll try to work them into our production schedule. And if you found this video useful, be sure to like and share, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss our next update, our analysis reviews, or our news coverage. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.